It's really hard to talk about religious truth without offending people of other religions. Well, we come now to Islam, and I must stress very, very strongly at this point, in case you are a Muslim viewer, that what I am saying in this particular video is part of a larger conversation. To accurately understand what I am about to say about Islam, you have to watch all the videos of this series which come before it. It will be very easy to misunderstand what I am about to say if you don't hear the previous videos first. What I am not about to say is that Islam is bad or that Muslims are bad. I am not trying to say that in what follows. Rather, what I am about to say is that Islam gets, quote, a relatively low PC score, unquote. And if you want to know what that phrase means, then you'll need to go back, as I said, and view the previous videos of the series. I want to be extremely clear in this video, so I will repeat myself. Muslims are not bad for being Muslims. That is not what I'm maintaining in this video. And Islam is not a bad religion. It's not a bad religion. Please take what I'm about to say in the proper context. Definition of Islam: the position which maintains that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet. Furthermore, the Quran is seen by the Muslim as the final revelation from God. Though the Bible in its original form is certainly legitimate divine revelation as well, there is more to Islam than just this, but at least this much is included in the position. So that's our definition. It seems that Islam is incomplete. For one thing, Islam recognizes that the Quran was not the first revelation of God. The Bible, for example, was a prophetic utterance as well. However, the Bible teaches many things contrary to Islamic doctrine. The Muslim could counter this by saying that the Bible has been corrupted over the years so that it no longer says the same things the original Bible says. However, this claim does not hold up to scrutiny. A text-critical analysis of the Bible, as we have it today, shows that the Bible, again as we have it today, is essentially identical to the original Bible. The contemporary Bible is a faithful copy of the original Bible, in other words. Now, textual criticism is an objective science. Even Muslims can do it because it's, as I said, an objective science. And they would get similar results. So the Bible has definitely not been changed over time in any significant way. Islam appears incomplete, for it has no way to account for the teachings of the original Bible, which do contradict Islamic theology. It seems Islam is inconsistent. Like Judaism, Islam denies the doctrine of the Trinity. In a similar way, then, Allah is both is and is not essentially loving, which is a logical contradiction. And as I said before, this is a motif we're going to be coming back to again and again. God's essential nature on theism is to love, but there has to be someone else to love, and only the doctrine of the Trinity with multiple persons, which can love and receive love, solves this problem. So that second question gets a -1. And the third question, it seems that Islam is not livable. I say this for 3 reasons. First, abrogation. The doctrine of abrogation is that Allah cannot give, or that Allah can give, let me start over. The doctrine of abrogation is that Allah can give subsequent revelation which supersedes previous revelation. But if God sometimes supersedes prior revelation, it is difficult to know what is currently authoritative. Allah's final revelation is in the Quran, you say? But which verses of the Quran were written when? And which verses abrogate which other verses? These problems may be only epistemological rather than ontological. However, it is my understanding that Allah can also abrogate his pronouncements post-Quran. For example, he may say in the Quran that if one is an obedient Muslim, one shall inherit eternal life. But then after one dies, he can say to the obedient Muslim that he is now damned for all eternity. And this brings up my second reason for supposing Islam is unlivable, namely the sovereignty of God. All theists, for the most part, admit God is sovereign. And yet Islam takes the sovereignty of God to an extreme, I think, to such an extreme that we are merely robots. To suppose that God makes us sin and then punishes us for it, as I think Muslims do claim, correct me if I'm wrong if you're a Muslim, or even if you're not a Muslim, but I think that's what Muslims claim. And if that is true, that would make it hard to love God. If one believed God makes us sin and then punishes us for it, it would be hard to love Him. Yet surely Allah expects us to love Him, and it is hard to see how a puppet could be meaningfully said to be alive or to live. Thirdly and finally, Islam is a legalistic position. Apparently, we have to earn paradise by doing enough good. But how do we know when we've done enough good? If we only pray 4 times one particular day instead of 5, does that disqualify us? Or would we have to pray only 4 times per day for an extended period of time to disqualify for eternal life? Such questions are impossible to answer, and this leaves us continually in doubt. We really can't live this way in perpetual doubt about the state of our own eternal soul. -1. Finally, Islam does not correspond to theistic reality for Trinitarian conditions. Allah is not triune, therefore He cannot be essentially loving, but according to theism in general, He must be essentially loving, which is a contradiction. So Islam, like Judaism, scores a -4, and we will look next at the third position within theism, which of course is Christianity. And then after that, we will conclude this worldviews proof. Thank you.